Didn't you say you had plans to go vandalize his grave? Maybe the FBI will find this.
I mean, yeah, like my annual plans. It's not like the first time I'm doing this, but yeah.
Respect paid, disrespect coming.
Right, now we're gonna clown on his murder.
I'm trying to be a physician, Steve. I can't be Dominator Threatener. And welcome back to A Couple of Fellas. Whatever you have audio filtering on your end is really good. Maybe it's just the mic, because I didn't hear that clap at all. So I think that either Discord caught it as background noise or what, but...
Oh yeah, I feel like Discord does that. I feel like I never hear other people's clap syncs on Discord.
Can you hear this?
None of them. Yeah, boy.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Still won't let me blur my video background, but at least the noise canceling is solid.
Yeah, true. I could definitely see some like 4chaners just looking at this video and pinpointing your exact geolocation.
I literally saw the background and was like, okay, I should move some of this stuff around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I saw a doctor I don't really give a shit about sharing it, but I saw a doctor recently because I'm still having nerve and pain stuff with my back.
Yeah.
Down my leg, and I'm like, alright, I should probably, take advantage of these incredible physicians that I now know on a personal level and make some moves a bit.
I love taking advantage of doctors.
Yes. I have, again, a lot of their contact info now, although I almost didn't, and we'll come back to that.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, so I saw them, and they do a great job with pain management. Super progressive clinic, the UT Musculoskeletal Institute. I'll throw a plug in there. They're great. And, yeah, they gave me a gabapentin prescription, which off-label is completely non-addictive. It lowers neuropathic pain, so since all pain originates in your brain, or is present in your brain and nowhere else, it signals from a cut or a burn or a stomach ache, and it all gets interpreted in your head. So phantom limbs, like after people have amputations, any kind of neuropathies or weird pain that I have, like shooting nerve stuff from pressure or surgery or whatever else, all of it lives in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And this medication apparently kind of just lowers that level across the board a little bit.
Okay.
And supposedly if you are on that for a little while, it's like, it just lowers the baseline pain enough that then I can do squats and deadlifts and build up some musculature and support for it and address it in other ways with physical therapy and whatnot. All that to say, there was a prescription bottle that you could see on the futon behind me, and I was like, 4chaners would go nuts.
Zoom,
I gotta
enhance.
cover that up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So yeah, but
exactly.
that's why I've been advocating for lobotomy for the longest time now. It's such a shame that it went out of vogue. You especially, but in general, yeah. I feel like I don't know why we think it's this archaic art when clearly all pain is just in your head.
I listened to an episode on like the ice pick surgeon, the guy who did, more than 2,000 of those through the 50s, 60s, 70s. And I think it was like a Long Island hospital or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it was on the Time Suck podcast I recently recommended to you. Time Suck with Dan Cummins. Everyone should check it out. Fantastic. Great community too. But holy shit, that stuff is nuts. And the way they had people waiting in lines out the door, I recently, because of that podcast, went back on a deep dive on that subject, which I've heard about before, but dude, the lobotomy era was wild.
Yeah, dude, they pushed their cures while denying us our medicine, and it's a damn shame. I'm also, like, bloodletting. I don't know. I don't need all this blood. I donate it every once in a while, you know what I mean? So why not just...
That's why I do plasma donations.
Yeah.
I need a little less volume.
Exactly, yeah. I'm too full.
I'm too moist on the inside.
Exactly. I could be a little bit drier, honestly.
And, back to the topic of how I almost lost all those doctor contacts. Fuck Apple. And Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
I hope you're tossing in your grave.
We're finally taking a stance on this. We're done being cowards, and we're finally taking a stance against dead Steve Jobs.
That asshole.
Yeah. Wish he died twice.
Didn't you say you had plans to go vandalize his grave? Maybe the FBI will find this.
I mean, yeah, like my annual plans. It's not like the first time I'm doing this, but yeah. But no, that's not till February.
Take all of the flower petals off the flowers at his grave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I throw a bunch of rotten apples at his gravestone, basically. I'd be like,
I've been
here,
saving them
eat
up.
these.
That's why you wanted to go apple picking so many times this fall.
Exactly, yeah. It's two birds with one stone. It's a cute date, and it gives me a lot of ammunition.
We love that efficiency.
Yeah.
Unlike Apple.
Go
I don't
off,
even know
kid.
if this... I honestly forget if this has been on the podcast or if I've told you this 3 times, but only in person and over the phone. I've complained about this so much that it's hard to keep track. But I was a unicorn. Android user for the last 6-8 years, something like that. Ready to go to Apple. Peer pressure enough. 48 of my 49 classmates are in the Apple ecosystem. Dropping notes and images and documents and everything else would have been so easy. I was ready to give it a go.
Mm-hmm.
I've been into T-Mobile 4 times and the Apple Store twice in the weeks leading up to this, trying to prepare everything and make it as smooth as possible.
Right.
And I was assured by several T-Mobile managers that the move to iOS app that Apple made for Android is great and takes pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, you were here for a lot of this.
Oh, yeah.
I figure, okay, I got the phone, it came in, it's Friday, let's get this done, surprise my friends with blue texts. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Go in, get it switched, start the transfer, which took several tries just to get it to connect. I'm like, okay, not a great omen, but transferring phones is always finicky. And the process starts. 144 hours left, but it's dropping quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I can't text, I can't call. It's a good thing I gave Steve an estimate and he gave me his hotel room.
Right, right.
So I drive to you, we start hanging out for the evening, and eventually I realize that it has failed.
Oh.
After 3.5 hours. Okay,
Happens.
start again. It's like app data, pictures, message history, contacts. It's a bunch of stuff. We're seeing what it can pull. I want it all. They said the app was good. Start it again. A couple hours later, fails. Start it again. 45 minutes later, fails. Start it again. 30 minutes later, fails. So on and so forth. And throughout this process, I am compromising on what I want from this.
Right.
I am removing the pictures. Fine, I'll make new memories. That's okay. I'm not taking the message history. I'll figure out what communications I had with physicians I was planning on shadowing.
Right.
That's all right. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's just give me my contacts. And on, I don't know, the 8th or 9th attempt, it works. Sweet.
Hell yeah.
Even better, I start seeing the apps downloading throughout, which is great, except that it is unable to be paused. Every time I delete an app that I don't want, it re-downloads it because it's trying to download all of them. And it is grinding through the phone's CPU. Like, I can do so little so slowly as it is multiply trying to download, like, 110 apps or whatever the hell.
Right.
And, fine. I start texting, it works. I don't have my message history, but, like, whatever. I've at least got contacts. I don't have my pictures. I don't have any accounts. Fine. Spend the rest of the night till 2 a.m. while you played Smash Bros. Trying to set up that phone, sign into every account, get shit working, go to bed. The next day I realize as I start getting calls, it's from Carter Cook or 3 others. Which doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
It's like, it's not sure. It's like, it could be
It
this
says
guy.
at the top, incoming call from Carter Cook or 3 others. John Ferlivio or 3 others. All right, what the hell? Go to
I love when
contacts.
my caller ID is a suggestion.
I'm like, or 3 others. Is it 3 other Carters? Is it 3
Yeah,
other
yeah.
numbers? Never seen this. I
You
had
can
a flip
never
phone
be-
in 2008. Like,
You can never be too sure who's calling you, and Apple's aware of that.
nuts. And go to find out in my contacts that there are between 4 and 9 copies of every single contact I have, and Apple doesn't let you merge. The way Android has that merge contacts button that would have taken care of this in a jiff.
Right, right.
Doesn't exist. Go through every option because you have to go through the settings, accounts, contacts, as well as settings, contacts, permissions, as well as contacts, the app, groups, which has every email address and account I've been trying to add to my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And none of it works. I'm mix and matching what it shows. I'm trying to merge. I'm going through every contact option. I have no way to fix this. Spend an hour and a half on the phone with Apple support, go through every option they have. She says, I've never heard of this happening. I don't know what's going on. The Apple expert. And
Right.
Ultimately, after an hour and a half, I have to make this is all on a fresh Apple account. Like, I made a new email address. You were there, Proton Mail, sponsor.
Hell yeah,
out.
shout out.
And secure encrypted email for you and your loved ones. And everything was new. So I'm on my iCloud, on my computer, on the phone, on my old phone, on speakerphone, trying to juggle all of this for an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow she tells me I need to like empty my iCloud contacts, sync my phone to iCloud, clear the iCloud contacts, so all of that's empty.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can back it up. And I'm like, oh yeah, from Gmail, which has all of my contacts, very easy. I can just download them all as a packet. So I upload that mother fricker into the iCloud. All of my contacts show up, one copy, amazing.
Yeah, perfect.
Phone is synced to iCloud, great.
Mm-hmm.
All of my contacts are there, just one copy.
Nice.
All of my other accounts are removed from the phone, but whatever, we're dealing with it as we go.
Yeah.
I go into my text message to tell you, hell yeah, I've got it fixed, I can come over and hang out. And every contact has no name in my message history. And they're all de-identified.
Dude, I think you're not taking the opportunity here to, like, practice your memory skills. You know what I mean?
I have friends from at least 15 states that I text. Never mind all the area codes they're in and people who do international like, I don't know any of that. Never mind all of the other 7 digits that follow.
Kids these days
fucked.
don't know how to remember phone numbers, dude. And it's a crying shame.
I have 1,609 contacts in my phone.
1,600? Jesus Christ.
And I use, I would say, at least 100 to 200 of those within like a 3-month span.
Right.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. And I got pharmacology to memorize. I can't be mixing that shit up with the area code of bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah, right.
So that's not going to work.
Okay.
And every time I text someone, I can do a new message, Stephen Webb, there's your contact. I click on it, type a message, send, your name disappears, it's just your number. Apple, no idea. Go into T-Mobile, no idea. None of it works. All of the support, all of, like, everything, every option. At this point, I've been trying to do this for, like, 26 hours, and I've had no chance to record an episode with you, do any of the goddamn homework I was already behind on at that point.
Oh, yeah, true. We ripped out our most efficient episode of all time.
That was after the fact.
Yeah,
that was,
exactly.
Like, the next day still.
Yeah.
Ruining me. I didn't realize, like, I knew changing a phone could be frustrating, but I had no idea that it could be possible of generating that much anger. Like, it surprised me at several stages throughout the weekend that I was somehow still getting more frustrated. I thought that I had hit the theoretical glass ceiling for switching phones and carriers.
Yeah.
And it continued to be increased, just like the goddamn debt ceiling. Amazing.
It wasn't even your final form, after 24 hours.
Senate didn't even filibuster. It just fucking right up.
Right.
So, over and over. And I started laughing sometime mid-Saturday at the absurdity of it, often with you, and still after that, 4 or 5 more times, shit went worse or got more frustrating or was more of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It was miraculous. It was like a surreal experience, and kind of take a step back from everything and go, wow, so this is the scope of anger that I'm capable of in a situation like this.
You have Apple to thank for allowing you to experience the full range of the human condition.
I so nearly decided to go donate plasma 14 to 18 more times just so I could snap this iPhone for the catharsis of it. Several times it went through my head like, is this worth the financial hit? I've got Apple Care.
Right, yeah.
And yeah, just unbelievable. And eventually I'm like, this is not going to work. So I go into the store again. This is my 6th T-Mobile visit in 4 days. And I know them all by name. Oh, right, I owe them like a Yelp review. Actually, no, I don't, because they put the final screen protector on and just missed entirely and ruined it. And I had to get a new one.
They put it on sideways. It was the strangest thing.
It was like not even like a miss, but it was like 1.5 millimeters or 2 millimeters to the side on a curved phone. So like it wasn't sealed on one side, sat on top of it, and then there was a hooked ledge on the other.
Right.
And why would you do this? I was like, you're experts. Can you help with this? The last thing before you never have to see me again. They're like, we got you.
Yeah, they put it on the back of my phone. It was, I don't know what they were thinking.
They folded it around.
Yeah.
And Yeah, I switched. I was like, I'm going to get a Samsung. This is insane.
Mm-hmm.
So I switched in-store, which then became a 2-day hassle of shipping, exchanges, that I still have to follow up with T-Mobile about to make sure my trade-in got applied correctly and the Apple return got removed from my bill.
Right.
Because they ordered me the phone. I couldn't return it in store. They said I had to go through customer service. I call customer service. They call me back 3 hours later. I spend an hour and a half on the phone. They say they can't return it for me. I have to go in store and call with them.
Mm-hmm.
I go back into the store the next day when customer service is supposed to call me back and we'll handle it together. They don't call me back. So then I'm in store with the people who initially said, we can't return this phone for you. It's an order. You have to do it through them. And I had to go through all of that shit for another 2 hours just to return this phone
Right.
that I did not want, that I already had replaced with a different phone.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. And yeah, I got the Galaxy phone, still had my old phone, thankfully. It took me 6 hours that night to transfer all of the stuff, and everything transferred. And then to sign into everything, change the layout and preferences of my phone.
Mm-hmm.
It is perfect. It was complete. I built off of like the home screen widget setup of my old phone and then improved it, and it is unbelievable, and I love it so much. And it took me 6 hours to make it perfect plus, when it took me 60 hours with Apple to not have my contacts work or text people correctly. And that was my Apple experience.
Right.
So if anyone on Android is considering folding to the peer pressure, don't do it.
Stay strong, my children. Stay strong.
I'll put you should put a disclaimer in the footnotes. Definitely do timestamps, at least for that part, because that's a whole lot of me ranting about a whole lot of bullshit, and most people probably won't want to hear it.
Right,
I
right.
wouldn't say it's a polished stand-up routine yet.
So how much would Apple have to pay you to accept their sponsorship on this podcast, and then you have to talk good about them?
Do I have to use the iPhone? Like, do I have to switch to their ecosystem as well?
No, but you have to evangelize for them.
Oh, I mean...
I'll lie through my fucking teeth. I don't got morals.
Let me do the math on tuition, rent, and a little bit of spending money. Like,
Yeah.
there's a number. It's a reasonable one, too.
Would you rather be sponsored by Apple or by methamphetamine?
Apple's probably going to be the better business decision, but I
Yeah.
would feel like I'm compromising on my values more by taking that deal.
Okay, right, yeah. I would at least, yeah. I haven't tried methamphetamine before, so I don't know if I hate it. But Apple, I've come down clearly on one side.
I bet you wouldn't. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the issue, yeah.
You probably would like it a lot. And if you're
Yeah.
just looking for something you enjoy, then that might be the sponsor for you folks. Not a sponsor yet, so I'm not like obligated legally to anything I say here, but...
Right, right. What would be your dream sponsor for this podcast?
Ooh. If we start with Fleshlight, then we're on the Rogan path.
That's true, okay, yeah.
Plus, you know, the benefits.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Um,
I need several. I need 7 different ones for every day of the week.
I need at least 5, thanks to our trademark hypothetical.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Not trademark, signature,
Yeah.
you know, associated heavily with us.
Wait, you need 5 pocket pussies?
5 dicks or no dicks, my friend.
I
been?
No, I understand the question, but these aren't like dicks, they're the opposite.
Well, if I have 5,
Oh,
then I'm
right.
gonna need 5. This was like, come on, Steve.
I see.
That wasn't 2 plus 2, that was 1 plus 1.
I thought you were trying to make the hypothetical a reality, not just like, if it ever
No.
were to happen, I need receptacles for all of
Although,
them.
they're getting pretty good at those surgeries, and I bet they could...
You think so?
I wonder if you could practice... Like, I have a suture kit that's effectively made of the same fake skin. And
Okay.
it came with a bunch of sutures and tools to practice doing that.
Oh, so
I
you
bet
could like...
that plastic surgeons could buy a bunch of fleshlights
Yeah.
and just practice. You know, why not?
Yeah, I mean, hey, you gotta get the reps in somehow, you know what I mean?
Well, that's better than on people, much more ethical. And, you know, I actually wonder about that because there's some level of simulation for a lot of clinical and surgical skills, but there's obviously a gap between what a silicone chunk or a model patient can do versus an actual body.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if they do have something along those lines where it's like a fake tissue thing where they practice this procedure. Because at the very least, before you would be doing gender reassignment surgeries, you would have to go through fellowship training, like specialized training for sure.
Right.
And I'm wondering if that probably has some level of practicum. Now it's probably a lot of working with / alongside established doctors, but there's probably some kind of training dummy for that.
I just imagine the first person who did this. Like, I wonder how that went.
Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Some guy with any kind of surgery, they just kind of got to wing it. Like lobotomies, for example. Who was that first hero who's like, I'm going to get inside this brain and I'm going to, like, take some stuff out. I'm going to take the bad parts of the brain out.
Well, originally in 1800s, I think, they really started noticing that people who had frontal lobe injuries, like penetrating wounds they didn't die from, Phineas Gage type shit, but less severe, were very different in their behavior and often, like, what I don't know what the correct politically and medically and scientifically term is, but like very low affect, kind of stuporous, like kind of just flat, slower in processing, less, like much more emotionally muted, a duller personality almost. And then they theorized that could be applied to violent schizophrenia or other like aggressive antisocial type medical disorders of the mind, and at least in the thinking of the time. So somebody gave it a shot, and to an extent, in extreme cases, it did work and kind of wasn't a horrific option. If someone was otherwise, and this is terrible that it happens, but like, you know, clawing themselves and others and throwing feces unless in a padded room and straitjacket, and you could do a lobotomy, and then they would kind of drool a lot and not say much, but they would not be violent. That was a win, especially at the time, like a huge win.
Right.
So originally it was, they drilled a little hole in the side around your temporal bone and went in and just like removed some pieces of brain. And kind of like experimentally and without a lot of discernment. It's actually incredible that they didn't cause more death, but that is, I would say, like the least functional. Like that's one of the areas you can most sacrifice in a person. It's a lot of like the higher order thought and more extreme and complex societal reasoning, interpersonal skills, social skills, like not language, that's a side area, but a lot of those things. So it takes away a lot of what it means to like be a person in a full capacity if you fuck that up, but you can still breathe and walk and look and hear and taste and like, you know, exist.
Right.
So, yeah, they would like just drill it out, and then basically, I don't know if it was the ice pick surgeon himself, and I'm blanking on his name, which I should know right now, but somebody figured, I think it was him, who was like, I want a less like invasive way to be very invasive like this. He wanted something that could go past the eye, because while there is bone, there's also some holes that like nerves and arteries run through, which is a lot of the like fatality and damage that this procedure could cause. But the bones right there are for the most part kind of thin, so you can crack through them with ease. And I don't know if that was like their exact aim, but it's a relatively compliant space to jam a hard metal tool into. And he supposedly went rummaging around in his kitchen and found a literal ice pick, because, you know, back in the day, big block of ice, you just shave off chunks to put in whatever. And figured, oh, this works. It's like 6 inches and sharp.
Eureka!
Shoved through his arm on the Rogan show. And, he realized that he could, like, push past the eye on the inside, which is true. It's not like, there's muscles and stuff, but it isn't wholly attached, complete, like, very solidly to everything around it. So he went in past the eye, through either those, you know, fissures in the bone or some of the bone itself, and just like twirled and shredded and severed connections. So didn't pull shit out, but just like and had the same effect of, you know, intense brain damage, sometimes in the direction that they wanted.
I wish I could, briefly experience what it's like to just remove a cubic centimeter of my brain in a random spot and see how I feel and who I am afterwards, and then put it back.
That'd be interesting. That's why they keep people awake during brain surgery, because they can, like, stunt. There's techniques where you can not sever, but you can impact, like if you're prodding an area, or if you have very, very small, like, shocks or magnetic impulses. You can stimulate areas of the brain. So as they're going, they test constantly, like, move your hands, can you please repeat after me? How are you feeling? What are you feeling?
That's so
Because they
wild.
want to make sure that before they do any damage or cut something, that it isn't a part of the brain you're using. Because the crazy part is, while there are trends in the brain, and a lot of it is conserved, language, Broca's area and Wernicke's on the side for processing and production, motor cortex, sensory cortex right next to it across the top, visual in the back. The specifics of that, because remember, like a tumor or a little aneurysm they need to ligate, which they wouldn't do invasively now, but whatever, could be anywhere. The actual, like, connections that are involved in that person to person, the shape of the gyri and sulci, those curves and twists of the brain, are different. So you could poke in the exact same spot on two people, and it matters for one and not for the other. So, like, you gotta, it's brain surgery is literally, you know, as complex as brain surgery. It's nuts.
Yeah. Are there elective brain surgeries?
It's elective in the sense that there are brain surgeries that are not medically necessary usually at that time. For example, you could have a benign growth, like a cyst, or really like a benign tumor that is not cancerous, just a little growth. And if it is either controlled by medication or not growing at all, and you're tracking it over time and it's not growing at all, and symptoms that aren't getting worse, like, it would be an elective procedure, I'm pretty certain, to go in and remove that in case down the line something happens with it.
Yeah.
Or you could choose to not at that time. But then there's, in my understanding, that would count as elective. I don't believe that there are purely voluntary, like, do this thing because I want. Like, there's no aesthetic surgery. There's no.
Like, I
want
to be a cooler guy. Can you, like?
Yeah, there's
fuck
none
around?
of that. None of that. So the only elective would be like, is this something that you need / want now or potentially down the line, like a risk benefit type of way.
Yeah. Well, if any of our fans out there are, you know, Dr. Frankenstein-esque, and you're looking for someone whose brain you can just kind of like, don't take anything out. I want it all back by the end of the day. But if you just want to, like, poke around, I'd be curious to see, like, maybe put some magnets in different places and just see how I change.
I think you can do that with like
Interesting.
the transcranial magnetic stimulation, I think, TMS maybe.
Oh,
But,
is that like that
it's
X-Men
like
Cerebro thing that they put around your head?
usually I think that's more for monitoring, like
Okay.
EEG electrodes to catch
Yeah, but you just
your
flip it in
brain
reverse.
signals. I think that there are some technologies that have a combination of that for, like, research use and whatnot, maybe some therapeutics, but I know that there's also, like, external ones that are like a wand, but there's probably, I'm sure, ones you sit in and it targets it. But yeah, they can direct, like, magnetic impulses pretty much in any 3D space and on very small scales, so they can stimulate. And a lot of this is like Parkinson's research or schizophrenia type like when we're trying to activate or quiet different areas of the brain for therapeutic effect. But, and I don't think you could just find a place that will do this. It is theoretically possible for you to go to one of those and have them use impulses to, like, dull, mute, change, or impact, like, a part of your brain for 20-30 seconds, and you would be able to experience that.
Right. Yeah, I remember seeing
And
a
from what I
while
understand,
back.
no damage.
I remember seeing a while back there was, like, a helmet that they were putting on people and they were inducing, like, a religious experience in them. Like,
Yeah,
it was
that would probably be, like, I don't know, if you punch the pineal gland with a magnetic impulse, maybe that happens.
just a quick little, like, hallucinogenic trip just by putting on a helmet and then you take it off and you're good.
That'd be pretty great.
I know.
We should look into that.
We should invent it.
A couple of fellas venture capital.
Yeah. I don't hate the idea.
Venture fellas?
Ooh.
There's already Venture Bros.
Yeah, true. Trademarked already. We'll have to
Venture-
buy them out later.
Venture Fellas, I think, is open.
Okay. I'll trademark that later today. I got some time.
Okay, so another thing, and here's an option for the fans to go on the video version of the podcast again, because, you know, we like our fan engagement and we want them to care that we're doing this and going through the effort.
Of course.
But I recently got new
Yeah,
glasses
they owe us.
and sent out a mass Snapchat to a bunch of people. So now that you can see them live, check it out. These are
Right.
kind of black, a little bit of gold on them. It gives me almost an Iron Man glasses feel.
I can see that, yeah.
but they're a little bit bigger. I don't know. I liked them. Not a ton of people seemed to like it when I sent out the poll. I'll be honest.
Okay.
These are in last place. So, option number 1, check it out. If you're a fan, I'll keep talking throughout this to make it a little more bearable if you're just an audio listener. But if you're a real fan, you'll be jumping on the YouTube.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
comment, subscribe, check it out, vote. Let me know. Option 1, 2, or 3.
I'm going to be honest with you. Unfortunately, for some reason, your video is coming through a little bit blurry. So.
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, frick me. These ones are clear.
Yeah.
Clear is apparently very hip and in style. A little bit
Right.
of metal inside the clear frames on the side.
Okay.
I don't hate it. And the final ones, some metal, some of that tortoise shell pattern.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit rounder than I'm used to, but what do we think? Full frame.
I'm going to be honest.
You have no idea, can't tell, and don't care.
This one and the first one look very similar over the blur.
Fair enough. Well, it's been fun, and I will take that as a non-vote. Thank you.
But yeah, we'll put a poll on our YouTube channel for everybody to vote on.
Is that just going to be like in the comments, or are there poll functions on YouTube?
Yeah, there's poll functions on YouTube
Whoa, that makes sense, but I've never seen it.
that you can blast out to your subscribers. Yeah, a lot of the channels I watch, especially anime review channels, will put out polls of like, all right, what show do you want me to cover next? And then
That makes sense.
people vote
I'm
on
stupid.
it. Hell yeah. Or there's another guy, who's like reviewing all the Spider-Man movies, and he just puts a poll out to his subs like, who's your favorite Spider-Man?
Ooh, who is your favorite Spider-Man?
I don't know. I haven't seen all of the Spider-Man movies, and I've only seen the first Andrew Garfield one. Never saw the second one, and that was in high school when I saw it. So, Tobey Maguire is definitely the one I have the most nostalgia for. Tom Holland's is really good. I'm pretty middling on Andrew Garfield, so I'll probably just go with Tobey.
I liked the Andrew Garfield movies a decent amount. I thought he was pretty solid in it, and I really liked his Gwen.
Oh, yeah, Emma Stone, of course.
Yeah, no, at that time, that was like... Actually, when seeing those movies, like from the first to the second, was, I think, the first and one of the only like celebrity crushes I've had, and it was Emma Stone.
Yeah.
So I was enthralled with those movies at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because of her. And
Who's
second one hit me hard because, plot twist, spoiler, she dies.
Yeah, it's big sad. Who's a bigger celebrity crush for you, Emma Stone or Jason Momoa?
Why you gotta do me like that?
I know, you have to pick one, and I'm going to be tweeting this video at both of them, so one of them's going to get their heart broken.
Ooh, and I know they've both been waiting on my answer, and I keep putting it off, but...
Dude, I'm going to be honest, you look like you could be the son of Emma Stone and Jason Momoa.
That means a lot, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I lost a lot of the skin tone. I don't know that she is enough to carry it that far.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's gonna be rough, but I think I might have to go with Emma Stone.
Yeah. How heteronormative
And you know why?
of you.
Well, the bigger actually counter to that is the logic, because Emma Stone is, I think, the only ScarJo's great, but I think that's like a normal level of Marvel fanboy, and she's pretty. I don't think it's like a celebrity crush. But there are more leading men in Hollywood where I'm like, Henry Cavill seems fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa, I want to know. Oh,
Yeah.
I'd love to be buddies with Tom Holland. Like,
yeah, right.
I think there are more guys in Hollywood that I have celebrity crushes on than girls. So I'm giving it to Emma Stone for standing out in her category.
Wow, yeah. Okay. Not a bigot. I love it.
How about you? Top from each category, and which would you choose?
Celebrity crushes. That's a good question. I don't know that I've really had one. You know me pretty well. Do you know any that I've ever
All
talked
the
about
ones
before?
I can think of are animated.
Okay, yeah, okay. My celebrity crushes.
You know your anime taste
Wait.
way more thoroughly than I do, so you're gonna have to name them though.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Jiraiya Sensei from Naruto
Oh,
versus who's my favorite female anime character? There's not a ton of them. Oh wait, no, there's definitely Best Girls, but I'm trying to go through all the shows that I watch and think of
there's a bunch, right?
who the best girl is.
You should watch Super Crooks on Netflix.
Oh,
because...
Peak from Attack on Titan. Peak. Okay, so she hasn't gotten much time to shine in the anime, but in the manga, she is quite easily best girl. And as far as anime
How
crush,
so? Can you spell that out a little more for me?
yeah, she's just like the smartest, nicest, funniest like character, I would say.
Is she the cart titan?
Yeah, the cart titan.
Damn.
Yeah,
Drew
dude.
the short end of the stick on that.
I know, seriously. But then she gets like all armored up with like a bunch of guys with like
the canon's
on
great.
Her back. Yeah.
I did watch the first episode. What
Hell
day does
yeah.
that drop?
They drop on Sundays at 3:45 p.m. on Hulu.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Keep me on pace with that, because I'll forget, but I want to watch that alongside you guys.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm finally caught up. By the last half season, I'm caught up.
Hell yeah, dude, you made it.
Okay,
yeah.
so between Peak and Jiraiya.
Bigger crush, gotta be Peak, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Because I'm a cis-het loser.
How hetero weeboo of you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because she's from the beginning of the show, she's just painted as this like goofy, ditzy weirdo. But when push comes to shove, dude, she's like fucking brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
I respect that. Strong
Absolutely.
leading lady.
Yeah.
Well, not leading, but it's an ensemble.
Yeah, Peak-sama, absolutely.
Well, I think you'll be happy to know I finally started watching Demon Slayer.
Oh, that you're just at the beginning of it now. Okay.
I'm 13 episodes in.
Nice. Thoughts?
It's pretty great, and I like the way they do the animation. Like, the water stands out and pops.
Oh, yeah, it all looks like
of
oil paintings.
Yeah, time doesn't mean much, but that's standard to most animes.
That's all anime, yeah.
He's so quick. The claw marks are climbing through the building so fast. Wait, I can smell mold before they move.
The funny
he hits the drum, and it happens. I don't know about all that, but...
That is one of the most ridiculous things about Demon Slayer, is just how his sense of smell gets him out of so many problems. Like, I can smell
the opening threat.
Yeah, I can smell an opening in their defense. Oh god,
I can smell their footsteps. It's whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of that corny shit, and like I'm never worried that him or Nezuko are ever going to like not make it out.
Mm-hmm.
I already like know that.
Right. Yeah.
Just by the tone of the anime, so I don't know. It's just a fun show. It is fun. I'm enjoying it.
It's a solid shonen anime.
Yeah, that's the term. Zitsumo or whatever the hell his name is. Zenitsu is so goddamn fucking annoying.
Have you seen Zenitsu do cool stuff yet?
He's done one cool stuff, and then immediately, and I was like, oh, I see, yeah, they're building it up for it to be more impactful when he does cool shit, and then it's going to be really cool. And it was. Yeah. And then immediately he starts being really, like, literally annoying to listen to.
Yeah.
I want this scene to end. I hate him.
He screams and cries a lot, and they just tease you. He does, like, one cool thing every, like, 15 episodes.
Oh my god.
And then immediately undercuts it.
That's always his personality. Please tell me, I don't, like, spoil this. Tell me he grows some, because it's, like, impacting the viewing experience. He's so annoying.
He has some character development, but for the most part, he's the same dude, even now.
Oh my god. I was hoping he'd come into his own. Is he just gonna have to fall asleep all the time? Like, oh.
Yes. Actually, yes. At the arc I'm at right now.
Oh, wait, your mic cut out. I want to hear. At the arc you're at right now, what have you done, Stevie-sama? Nope, can't hear you. Oh no! Guess it's time for another Zane monologue. I bet it's rough for Steve's concentration as he tries to troubleshoot this if he can still hear me talking and know that this is what everyone listening at home is going to be stuck
this should be able to work now.
Aw.
Okay, good.
He's back.
But yeah, at the arc where I'm at right now, they need him to do a lot of cool stuff, and so he's just been asleep through the entire thing, even though he's like running from battle to battle across rooftops through the city. He's just asleep through the whole thing. It's very plot convenient that when he can literally do everything he normally can and more when he's asleep.
And a lot more.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, significantly more.
Yeah.
Yeah, the plot convenience is definitely an aspect of it, but otherwise, I'm enjoying it, and I know that you guys would be glad to hear. So,
Hell yeah, buddy.
all right,
Uh,
want to move into our newest segment,
yeah. Let's do it.
fellas on the news.
Yeah, breaking news.
Okay, first, and I've pulled up a
Mhm.
couple of stories, so we'll see how this goes.
Sure.
Are you familiar with any of the Djokovic or Novak Djokovic or whatever the tennis guy's name is?
Oh, the
And
Joker, yeah.
That's the one. And
Yeah,
the,
he's Serbian, so my grandma absolutely loved him.
yes, exactly. Perfect. You're following along. Big fan. You
Yeah.
have posters. I see it behind the screen.
Yeah, he's a family hero.
We pray to him. There's a shrine. It's a big
Yeah.
thing. And yeah, so I guess he was going to play in one of those Grand Opens or Grand Slams sponsored by Denny's, and it was in Australia, who has relatively tight COVID laws.
Mhm.
And because a lot of soccer players in particular, but professional athletes, have been having cardiac issues after the vaccine, which is not to say that they are tied, but this is at least Djokovic's reasoning. There's been like dozens and hundreds of soccer players and athletes across all ages like having heart attacks and shit while playing with no history of heart problems.
Right.
So people think it is possibly due to the vaccine. And not to get into that, but he doesn't want to get vaccinated. That's worked out okay so far because of other, like, you know, testing protocols, and when you're tied for the title of top 3 greatest tennis players in history and currently competing to improve that, people make some leeway for you.
Exceptions, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So he was going to Australia and was going to be able to play, and then Australia revoked his visa because he's not vaccinated.
Oof.
And then it got appealed, I think, and or you know, like moratoriumed or something, and he was again allowed to play while, or like was set to be playing and was like thumbs up while I guess that appeal was in process or getting higher appealed or something. And then again they came back and then overturned that, and for the second time said no, you cannot, and I believe that is the final decision.
Okay.
So
what's he doing?
now you're
about
caught
it?
up.
Gotcha.
I think he's taken to Twitter or whatever and being like, I'm disappointed about this, but
Yeah.
I think that's at least the latest development. Now there's been, you know, at least 4 different like situations with him being allowed or not, back and forth, back and forth. So
Right.
kind of interesting. And I wanted to know your take on it. Put some comedy spin on this, Steve. It's a news article.
I mean, rules is rules, man. Like, I get that he's...
I mean...
you know what I mean? Like, this is he doesn't own this competition. I don't know.
No, that's fair. But there are places and proven, you know, alternative methods in terms of masks, shields, separation, space. And the tennis court is him pretty far from most people and everyone else wearing a mask and limited capacity. Like, do you think that there's an argument that this could be done with him in otherwise isolation and, like, the competition could play? Because now it's a question of, like, well, are you impacting all of, like, national standings, this international sport? Like, where's the policy versus competition if there are reasonable accommodations that could be done?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it comes down to the, like, there's 2 questions. One, what should the rules be? And 2, should he have to follow them? Because if, like, if this is what the rules are, you know what I mean? It's kind of like when that U.S. sprinter got caught for marijuana. Like,
yes.
Absolutely shitty situation. Weed is not bad. I don't think that it should be banned. But when that is the rule, and everyone knows the rule, and then you break the rule, you know, it doesn't set a good precedent to be like, okay, but this time the rules don't matter. You kind of got to wait for them to actually change.
I get that.
And so I think it's, at least in that question of, like, should he be allowed to play? My answer is a pretty quick no, because he knows what these rules are, and just because he's the best doesn't mean that he doesn't have to follow them. What should the rules be?
And that's like another question. Should the situation be more adaptable than blanket statements? And should there be, you know, nuance in making these decisions when things like a tennis court are open air, largely outside, and it is, I'm assuming, possible for him to, like, warm up while at least 6 feet away from everyone, and otherwise everyone has N95s. Like,
yeah.
and a big part of it, to play devil's advocate, I think, is that
Mm.
initially he was going to be allowed to play. Like, he got to Australia and was at his hotel, and then they changed their mind, and then it got changed back, and then they re-said no. So that also adds kind of like a fuckitude to it, you know?
Yeah, right.
Because these tournaments are rotating. It's not like this is, as far as I know, well, it might be like the Australia tournament or whatever, but there's a whole bunch of these, and it's in an international circuit. And if these are years-long things that a bunch of other countries are signed onto, and it's international competitors, is there also an element of like respecting other cultures and other autonomous decisions and other governments' legislature?
Oh, hell no. Absolutely not.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But like international sport, the question, I think we could have compared it with the Olympics also. Like, this is supposedly an athletic competition that transcends the boundaries of state lines. And if the tournament is played one way in 18 of 20 locations, and then there's 2 different rule sets, that throws fuckery into it. And, like, I get that that's gonna happen, but is there some duty, like, on the part of the people hosting it, on the representation of the country in terms of accommodating that? It's not, should he be allowed to break the rules? It's, where do we stand with, like, the reasonability of risk ratios and international sport versus national policy, and like what's our relationship with that? I think it's just a messier thing, and the flip-flopping makes it arguable either way.
Clearly managed poorly if they're going back and forth on their own decisions. But yeah, I think that if this, whatever this international organization is that hosts this
I
tournament,
don't even know.
I feel like that whatever their rules are, they can then go to these countries who want to host it, and then the two of them have to take whatever the strictest set of rules are between them, and then that's just like kind of how it's played.
I think that would be how it's being done right now.
However, I can see why this sporting organization is saying, like, fuck, if we don't get Djokovic, we're not making money. Like, no one's going to care.
It does
It's going to
impact
feel like
it.
a fake competition if, like, the best isn't actually here for it.
And I forget the other 2 names, but he's one of 3 that are all actively playing, and like, I think he might be on the older end, but like currently leading the pack.
Rafael Nadal also.
That's the other, But yeah, there's 3 of them that are all like neck and neck and could each establish a greatest ever career. So like all 3 of them in competition matters. And there's been, to be fair, it's not like this is the first hiccup throughout COVID for those international tennis things. There's been a bunch of other cases where like one of them got sick, or the tournament got canceled or postponed. Like, shit's been messy, but this is just the most recent one, and the flip-flopping in particular, I think, makes it a discussion-worthy topic.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, that's kind of where I stand. Like, I don't give a shit how sick you are at tennis. Like, tennis is a game with rules, and this tournament also has its own meta rules around the game. And if you're not following all of them, you're cheating.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true sportsman.
Exactly. Yeah. Same thing with steroids. Like, even then, that it does give you an advantage. People say, like, oh, well, they should be legal. And you know what? I think there's an argument for steroids being legal in whatever sport it is. But, because honestly, dude, when I'm watching sports, I want to see people doing the craziest shit I've ever seen. And they're already, like, destroying their bodies. So, if I were into baseball, like, yeah, I want to see these guys as fucking basically as close to gorillas as they can possibly be, so that they're just like literally,
the ball.
Exploding the ball every time they hit it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and there's a lot of nuanced arguments on both sides, but in a lot of cases, and with studies backing it up, proper and, physician monitored and responsible use of those performance enhancing drugs is much safer for athletes in a lot of different sports. Like the Tour de France stuff, it can be really bad for your kidneys and on your body, and the people who were on EPO not only did better, but were healthier. And like there's a lot of, benefit to that in terms of if you're in a sport like, let's say WWE, which whether you call it like a sport in terms of competition or not, is at least athletics to a very, very high level.
For sure.
If you're, and in that, it's obviously not tested. But if they
WWE is basically cheerleading.
Sure, yeah, with a little more contact in the rough sense, but
yeah, but like not really a sport, at least in the way that like we did cheerleading, where we weren't competing, but highly choreographed, highly athletic.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of it, I mean, there's improv for them more than cheerleading, but a lot of it is also,
True.
I would say, much harder on the body than cheerleading is. And if those dudes weren't doing steroids, they would be truly destroying themselves, like ripping apart tendons, breaking bones. Those like strengthening benefits of steroids keep them together. So I think there's an argument for responsibly administered steroids and performance-enhancing drugs across a huge range of athletics. Then it becomes a matter of like equal opportunity and safe tests. Like, I see also why it's easier and like the argument for safer to ban them, because irresponsible use of steroids absolutely skews competition and is also very dangerous. So
yeah, right.
But yeah, it's on both sides. That said, if you're not supposed to, don't. But again, like then there's an argument of people are gonna find a way, and chances are it will be riskier if they have to go around what is established as effective and safe.
Yeah.
So,
well,
are you hurting people more by making them illegal? Like, it's a big mess.
I know one thing that's really hard to exactly nail down is what makes a sport fair, because I know that's, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's something that comes up a lot in like the trans athletes debate, like what is fair, what is, right, who should be competing where. But even in just like sport differentials between sexes that are already established, like just genetically, is there a way that we should be trying to level the playing field genetically? Or are we just saying like, nope, that's fair? And even in wrestling or something like that, we divide it up into weight classes. But when it comes to basketball, we don't have, the 7 foot and up basketball league and then the 6.5 foot to 7 foot basketball league, where it would be more fair. You know what I mean?
You're right. A lot of the things that are not fair are factors in competition and athletics, broadly speaking, that, change the outcome. And you're right, because, I mean, you could micromanage and split hairs on controlling fairness all the way down to, should everyone be eating the same thing? Should everyone be mandated to sleep the same amount? Like, that's not the point of it. There needs to be initiative and variability, otherwise it isn't interesting. So, you're right. That said, like, I don't think not steroids competing against steroids is within a reasonable realm of, like, natural variance. And I think that takes it farther, because when you're at that level of like biohacking, you're not using, so to speak, natural opportunities like more exercise, better sleep, better diet, things that take time but are ways that our bodies are designed to be adaptable. You are taking advantage of hormonal shortcuts and things that our technology has made available to us, but that act at a rate, when I say like act at a rate faster than natural, I mean you can stimulate muscle development or bone density improvement at a rate faster than your body would under any normal combination of circumstances be able to achieve. And that, I think, is where it pushes past the boundary of fair, and also where you bring in an element of risk, because your body isn't designed to go through, 20 pounds of muscle growth in 6 weeks. Like,
right.
That's what, when you push things beyond the limits of natural physiology, that is, I think, where I try to draw the line. But again, that's a squiggly, broad, and fuzzy line still.
Yeah.
It's
because, like, what about supplementation?
Those are still naturally available things. Like, if you were a hunter-gatherer and you were eating enough different plants, enough different parts of enough different animals, and licking enough different rocks, you could get every mineral, supplement, whatever. It's, again, like, you're providing ingredients, and then your body is utilizing it as much as it is able to. That's a little bit different than, in my opinion, shortcutting to giving your body the messenger, like the hormonal stimulants, the ingredients that give instructions to the body. Because you could say, like, if I eat everything that allows for and increases testosterone production, maybe my body caps out at, like, 50 units per day is what it can produce. If I'm injecting 100 units a day, then, like, it's still shortcutting that, even if my supplementation, diet, sleep, exercise was perfect otherwise. And it's not to say that like people take steroids and then are brought to thresholds below their or other people's natural maximums.
Right, that was my next question.
Yes. It's not like everyone who injects testosterone is suddenly passing the limits of human physiology.
Yeah, it's not a super soldier serum.
But it is still, in my opinion, like a natural physiology rate question.
Mm-hmm.
And because the fairness then is that anybody else within their reasonable bracket of competition, anyone that they would be coming up against in, let's say they are a wrestler at a collegiate level, if they're doing steroids, yeah, maybe somebody else is sleeping better and exercising more and eating better, but for the level of effort, diligence, and work, which is what we're measuring, that's what we're measuring in athletic competition, right? Natural skill, effort, diligent, like those are the building blocks of athletic success in varying amounts. You get to skip past a bunch of those to make the progress in a faster rate, and that is, to me, the essence of the unfairness of using those drugs. If you are surpassing somebody who, even if they're doing better, like you are matching their results or mimicking or gaining ground with less effort than your body would be able to make that progress on, that is the unfairness and cheating. So I think that my definition can still fit those scenarios.
Right. A lot to chew over there.
Yeah, so let Djokovic play. Just do it on like a floating island off the coast.
Yeah, exactly. Put a gas mask on him so he can't breathe on anybody.
All right. You want another news story? I think that worked out okay. This one just caught my eye because it was a title that caught my eye. Rapper, I think based in Miami, Wavy Navy Poo was killed in an ambush shooting. Yeah, but,
oh no.
Yeah, it's terrible. I'm not familiar with his discography, but Wavy Navy Poo caught my eye.
Gotcha.
P-O-O-H, like Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, okay.
Important, right? Otherwise, it would just be like a serious medical concern.
Songs about honey and such.
Wavy Navy, honey. But first, I really just wanted to point out that name because rest in peace. I think that was an excellent choice of rap name.
Right, now we're going to clown on his murder.
Respect paid, disrespect coming.
Yeah.
No, the important part is not so much the important part's not the murder. No,
right.
The part for this discussion is not the murder, but the name.
Right.
And it made me remember that I was recently thinking about rap names and how the hell people come up with them. I heard recently Childish Gambino, that was a Wu-Tang name generator online, and he went with it.
Hell yeah.
And that's a great story. Lil Nas X, I got nothing. I don't know if you have the origin story of that, if he was bitten by like a radioactive Nas or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Means. But I wanted to talk about some of our favorites, some of the ones that make the least sense, maybe dig into their origin, and possibly even pick our own.
Ooh. Okay, I'm Googling right now, where did Lil Nas X's name come from?
You play tech support, I'll keep the screen on us instead.
Lil Nas also revealed that his mom named him after a car. So my mom wanted the car, the Mitsubishi Montero. Oh, his actual name is Montero. Let's see.
Mitsubishi Montero.
Yeah, so he was named after the Mitsubishi Montero. On the Tonight Show, when I started doing music, I was like, I want to have fun with this. And every new rapper's name is Lil. What if I was Lil Nas? That'd be so funny. So I was like, all right, bet. I'll be Lil Nas. And I added the X later on. This is not an explanation.
What is a Nas?
Yeah, I don't know. Wait, what the heck? And then the next sub-article or sub-headline is Lil Nas X pregnant? I need to know. In an effort to promote his little bundle of joy, the rapper went to extreme measures to promote his debut album. The 22-year-old announced that he was pregnant on TikTok. Okay.
Wait, did he renounce or announce?
Announced that he was pregnant.
Okay. Because that would be different things.
Yeah. So... Okay, this article is giving me no answers. He's just an absolute shitposting troll. Which I'm kind of all about. Yeah, me too.
It's really fun. I love watching him troll the boomers mostly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we talked about his blood-filled shoes and all of that.
Oh yeah.
Dozens of episodes back. I think I was still in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I believe so.
Feels like a Massachusetts-based Discord, but what do I know?
Yeah.
So,
We'll
rapper
let the-
names.
Mm-hmm.
Where did they come from? Where did they go? Cotton Eye Joe could be your little nickname. Lil Cotton Eye?
Little Cotton Eye. Little Eye Patch. I mean, my rapper name on Rap Chat is Big Swigs, so the opposite of Lil.
Oh, yeah, you're Big Swigs. There you go.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one.
Damn, you've already got one.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I don't.
Sorry, I do my research for this podcast.
Could you pull up the Wu-Tang name generator? Let's see if I can
gotcha.
follow in the Gambino's footsteps.
Okay.
Fingers crossed. This could be bad. Oh, peep the tournament ranch shirt.
Oh, yeah, dude, that's pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, the logo's dope. It's got a little
Actually,
TR in the thing.
Have you ever heard of Golden Guardians? They're
No.
like an esports team, and they have a very similar logo. Okay,
Oh,
let's
heck
see.
yeah.
Name
all the
generator,
esports I
Wu-Tang Clan. Your name, Zane Cook.
With an E.
Of course. Alright, woo me. From this day forward, you will also be known as Dominator Minatori.
Oh, can we do it again?
Nope. This is what fate has said. I gotta look up what Minatori means.
Okay, well, that's going to be the title of the episode. Dominator
Expressing,
Minatori.
expressing or conveying a threat.
This is... I'm trying to be a physician, Steve. I can't
No.
be Dominator Threatener.
Too bad.
That's
It has
such a
been
miss.
decided. Yeah,
Wait.
well,
Reload the website, type it in again. I want to see if the exact same thing does come up. Like, that really is, like... I don't... If it's tied to the name rather than an RNG.
yeah, if there's actually science to it.
Or, like, algorithm
Okay.
science. Magic.
Oh, I could also do it in German if you want a German name instead.
First see if the same name comes up, then do German.
Okay,
I need to
let's
know all
see.
the options.
Oh yeah, nope, Dominator Minatori again. So
Are you lying to me?
I'm not, I swear to God. So I'm gonna do it again in German.
Okay. Are you going to be able to read it?
Wait. Oh no, it's just giving me Dominator Minatori again, but it says Von diesem Tag an werden Sie auch
From this day
als
onward, you will also be known as... Yeah.
bekannt sein. Yeah, Dominator Minatori. I'm sorry, dude. This is if Childish Gambino got his name from here, look how well he's doing. I think you got to stick with it.
I can't wait to drop my first album.
You could. I feel like you could, since you have such an affinity for portmanteaus, you could just make it Dominatory.
Dominatory?
Yeah, Dominatory.
Well, either way,
bit
you
of a
got the
mouthful.
episode title. Oh. Well, this has been A Couple of Fellas, and this is Dominator Minatori signing off.
What's up? What's up?